George, thank you for sitting down with us, and thank you for coming to Australia. It is,
No, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. I've been here before, but I always enjoy the opportunity to visit Australia.
You spoke on the weekend about fan fiction. Will you ever let others write in the world? I mean, I think of the Star Wars novels that were licensed. Would you ever license others to write in Westeros?
No, not while I'm alive. But, eventually I will not be alive, because Valar Morghulis, all men must die, and I don't think my wife, if she survives me, will allow that either. But one thing that history has shown us is that eventually these literary rights pass to grandchildren or collateral descendants or people who didn't actually know the writer and don't care about his wishes. It's just a cash cow to them, and then we get abominations, to my mind, like Scarlet, the Margaret Gone with the Wind sequel, or these things that where the grandchildren or great grandchildren just see an opportunity to make a buck. I hate to see that, actually. I admire. I've always admired Tolkien, and he's an immense influence on fantasy. And although I've never met the man, I admire Christopher Tolkien, who's his son, who's been the guardian of Tolkien's estate, and has never allowed that. Because I'm sure there's publishers waiting in the wings with giant bags of money, just waiting for someone to say, yes, go ahead, let's write Sauron Strikes Back. And I hope I never see Sauron Strikes Back written by some third-rate writer who leaps in at the opportunity.
These are characters who've been with you since 1991. I wondered if there isn't internally almost a desire not to finish the series. I mean, when you write the end, or Finn, or whatever you write at the end of Westeros, the tale, is there a desire to keep it alive?
I think when I get to the end, I may very well feel some of that. It's going to be very hard to say goodbye to some of these people, the ones who are still alive. But at the same time, it's going to be immense relief, because the pressure of this, I do feel a story needs a beginning, a middle, and an end. And to put an end on this will be an immense monkey off my back. I joke about that on my blog, about all the monkeys on my back, the projects I've said yes to, and one of the monkeys is King Kong, and that, of course, is A Song of Ice and Fire. So King Kong has bowed me down, and it'll be nice to get Kong off my back and to have it done at last, and know that I've completed the entire thing.
And just finally, with the series, I wonder if your fans almost have to try and set the spoiler limit. We're in the age of the spoiler. And I was wondering how you approach this, because obviously you have fans who desperately want to talk to you, but really only want to talk to you about the first, 3 and a bit books at the moment.
Yeah.
And do you find that perverse, that your fans almost don't want to talk to you about the work of the last 10 years?
Every fan is different. You never know what they want to talk about. But I have to say, I'm very proud of my book readers. Yeah, there's a few jerks out there, but for the most part, they've done an excellent job of not spoiling the non-readers. The fact that the Red Wedding had such a tremendous impact all around the world is a testament not only to what a great job David Benioff and Dan Weiss and the cast of Game of Thrones did in rendering the Red Wedding, but it's also a tribute to all of my book readers who knew what was going to happen, but deliberately withheld that information, did not spoil their friends and relatives. Some of them, mind you, set up cameras to capture the grief, rage, and shock of their friends and relatives, which is a whole other issue to discuss, but they didn't spoil it. So I give them that, and I congratulate them on that, because these are experiences that you should have, a virgin, so to speak.
So do you feel you're bringing out the best and worst in the fans? They're not spoiling things, but they are filming the reaction for some sort of psychological experiment.
I guess. That was the thing about it that took me most by surprise. I knew there would be a big reaction, because I'd been through it 13 years before with the books, when the Red Wedding came out in the books. And I knew it would be bigger than 13 years before, because it's television and the internet was that much bigger than it was 13 years. But I had no idea that there would be not just 1 or 2, but hundreds of people who would set up cameras and microphones to see their girlfriends cry. I don't and put it on YouTube for all the world to share. So